Hey there, lads and lasses. This here is Thunderhand64 coming at you live from the west coast of the United States here on a Friday morning. It is a little bit past 11:30 a.m. in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, and that can only mean that it's time for some Buffooncraft SMP Season 6. Kachi has late start as well as early release this entire week, and so I'm not able to get back from his morning drop-off in time to start at 11, so I had to start a little later today. But despite that, here we are. Happy Friday, everyone. Slancha. It feels like everything regarding Twitch is broken. All of it. All right, so for the past 2 weeks, we haven't been able to export videos out of Twitch to our YouTube channel to archive them. So I've been downloading them directly and then from Twitch and then uploading them to YouTube, which is, oh my God. It takes so much longer to manually do that. So I think the last time this happens like every 2 years or so, every other year. I think what I had to do was disconnect my YouTube channel link to Twitch and then reconnect it again. So I'll try that. Asking Twitch or YouTube for help and putting in a ticket was awful. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to try to disconnect and then relink the YouTube to the Twitch, and then I'll see what happens. I'll have to try that this weekend. But the videos will still be archived on the YouTube channel. It just takes longer to process them now. So the trigger fire redeems, the new ones, adding new ones, still hasn't been fixed. I did find out though in Trigger Fire's user agreement and stuff and support that the nature of that is that you can always keep adding new redeems. You can only have 20 of them active at a time. So I was right in assuming that. I was correct in assuming that. So we should be able to just cycle out older redeems and put new video redeems in and just keep cycling 20 like that. And but that isn't working. So I've already removed a couple of the older redeems, and I keep trying to add the new redeem, and it's not letting me do it. It keeps saying I'm at the limit of 20, even though I'm at 18 now or something. So I'm not sure what to do about that. I suppose I'm going to have to put in a ticket with Trigger Fire and see what's up with that, but God, I don't want to do that because I know that's just going to be a dead end. So I'm probably just going to wind up just working on it with ChatGPT and see what I can do about that. But in the meantime, the other redeems are still active. They're still usable. It's just that I can't add any new ones until that gets squared away. But enough of all of that. Let's log in. We have a lot of work to do. Display scene. Here we are. Here we are. That's one I have to do. From the Queen soundtrack for Highlander. Here we go. We're back to this place, remember? Hey there, buddy. And of course, it's nighttime. I'm working feverishly in Buffoon Skies to finish up our base, or to get our base to a point where we can at least claim that it looks finished. We have only this week left as far as I'm concerned. I've told we may have another week after that, but I can't really count on that. And it just seems like, you know, I'm working so hard in there, and then it's just always nighttime in there. It's just always night. I have no idea why. I'm just working away, and I look up. Oh, it's nighttime again. Oh, it's nighttime. It's nighttime again. And it's like it's so hard to get any work done. It's always nighttime in Buffoon skies. All right, but we are here now today, and I think the last thing we did is we went around the perimeter. And we did like a little bit of terraforming around here. We messed around with the elevations a little bit and added some variation to our elevation. And then we went around with some bone meal, and we added a little vegetation to our elevation. And okay, I'll stop with the rhyming stuff. But I think we pretty much finished that, and then we went around and we dressed up the edge here. I think that's what we did the last time. I'm going to just swim the perimeter here and just have a look so I can reacquaint myself with this build. Because if you think about it, we're on 4 different maps now. We have Generations, the Generation 5 Survival World. We have the Baby Zombie Rush map. We have this Buffooncraft Season 6, and we have Buffoon Skies. And so just remembering where I am and where I've left off and what I have and don't have and what I'm doing and what I'm not doing is like, oh my God. Do I have any more bone meal? I don't think I do. I did want to get this patch here a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe it's good to leave a couple of open spots. This stuff over here looks like it's okay. The edge looks like it's been finished off all the way around, so I think we're good there. So I think we started to dig out the middle now. I think that's what we ended on. Right. Okay, let's do this. And then we have what's basically a bunch of trash to drop off here. And we also have a thunderstorm going on overhead, so we have to sleep that off. And we have a lot of noise coming in. I have the window open to try to get some of this cool morning air, but yeah, let me fix that. And of course, welcome in JMO the Schmo. You should be able to see the auto shout out up there for JMO. My neighbor. I hope you're doing well, neighbor. And appreciate the lurk. Enjoy the gameplay. I'm just going to be digging. So, let's see. We'll get some more sand. I think we ought to dedicate one of these just for sand because, you know, we have some sand going out to Dora there, but we're going to generate a lot more of that now. Let's dedicate just one of these to sand. Look at Dora's. Oh, please, come on now. Stop that. Stop. Dora, if you happen to be lurking, then you can drop by and grab the sand anytime you would like. It's right in there. Yeah, all right, so we should have the beacon effect. I can see it up there in the upper right. Dude, thank you. All is well. Stagecoach prepped this week. Oh, going to have to drop by one of your streams and see what that's about. Ok. We are getting the insta-mine, though, from the beacon, so that's good. Okay, I'm liking this. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe I set up 2 beacons. So we should be good there. It's just we can't insta-mine this smooth stone that I set up. And I originally set up this smooth stone. What were you thinking, Thunder? I was thinking because it has the edge detail on it, it's easier to count blocks and it helps me register the schematic so I can build the sculpture here. Yeah, so I think I'll just go and remove all the smooth stone first. All right, since we're involuntarily relegated to swim mode, let's just use it. It should be pretty easy because we're just committing demolition in straight lines, so it's not that big of a deal. But as I've been saying for these last Buffooncraft streams, I really want to finish this part of the build and move on so I can get back to working on the island over there and make my base look like a base. I thought I took care of this. Yeah, I didn't think of removing these stone blocks while I was setting them down, as you can see. And there are a lot of them. The trick of not going into swim mode here is not to hit the W key twice in rapid succession. If I can just train my hand not to do that, it will be easier to manage, and we will get more work done. And then once we clear this, all the smooth stone out of here, the natural stone variants, we can insta-mine that. It's just a matter of now switching back and forth with the tools between shoveling and pickaxing, mining, right? As I mentioned in earlier streams, we may have to actually continue our sculpture down further than we anticipated. I'm trying to avoid that because I really don't want to build the whole thing out. So if I can deploy some tricks here where I don't have to build out the entire sculpture all the way down, yeah, that'll be ideal. Because I am trying to finish this. I'm told when Buffoon Skies concludes this weekend, that's considered halfway through Buffooncraft Season 6 here. We're into our second year in this season, which is I believe unprecedented for us. This is the first time we've had a season run longer than a year. I think. I think I am going to have to go down into... Well, I don't know. Maybe I won't have to go into swim mode, but I'm at least going to have to get down on this level here to remove some of this stuff. Yeah, we should just do that. And you know what? Maybe it'll be more productive, at least for the stream, for us to just go around the perimeter, around the outside, and just remove this stuff, instead of taking it all in strips like this and working under the sculpture and all of that. You know, yeah, let's just go around and just remove the easy stuff as much as possible. And we'll make another double chest just for this smooth stone, so we're not mixing stuff all the time. That makes inventory management just a little more cringe. There we go. That's our sandbox, literally. And let's keep the stone all in one place too. Those are easier to manage. Okay, there we go. We could still work in strips. We'll just work on the outside, and then we'll remove the stuff under our sculpture after. Unfortunately, there isn't a stone variant that insta-mines that has the edge detail on there, so... But usually I'll use the F3 plus G and turn on borders like that, so I can see chunk borders. And I'll usually use that to register these kind of sculpture builds like this. Here I used a combination of both, so... I didn't have to use so much a combination of both directly like this because back in Season 4 when I was working on the giant hand, because I built it entirely out of iron blocks. And iron blocks have an edge detail on them already. So the blocks themselves just register themselves, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, you can go back and watch those archived videos. They're still on there on the YouTube channel. But it's been a very, very quiet 6 weeks on the Buffooncraft Season 6 server because everybody's, you know, focusing on their builds in skies right now. Which is understandable. That's not a complaint, but it is a little lonely. But again, you know, you can take advantage of this situation. Nobody's on the server. That means I am the undisputed lord of the entire Season 6 server right now. All of your builds, buffoons. All of your builds are at my disposal. It's extremely difficult to resist the urge to go mad with power. But the Buffoons should be returning to the Season 6 server next week. So maybe we'll have some activity on here. But several of the Buffoons, I wouldn't say several, I'd say a few of the Buffoons are claiming that they're now completed their builds and they don't have anything to do on the server. And, you know, I'm not trolling them or anything. I just always wonder. It's like, how can you not have anything to build? I mean, there's so much to do. You know, like the shopping district, for example. You know, there's so much that needs to be done there. And Flying Villager wants to make a historic district with a museum and stuff for not only the Season 6 server, but for the past Buffooncraft seasons. Now, even though he'll be kind of supervising that for the most part, there's a lot of building to be done there. There's a lot of infrastructure that needs to be done. Plus, there's just adventuring too, you know, going out and exploring things and you know, more events and mini games to be made and shops and all kinds of stuff that have to be done, you know. We still do not have all of the farms here in Buffooncraft either. We might have all of the immediately necessary ones scattered amongst our different bases. But there are still so many farms that need to be built. Some of the materials that are floating up there, I may go up there and clean up in a little bit, but I'm not being so diligent in cleaning up there, and I'm letting some of that stuff despawn because I really don't use the smooth stone in really large quantities. I use it mostly for a substrate for redstone because it is an unnatural looking block and it has the edge details, so it makes counting the blocks better or easier, right, for a redstone build. Though Nova had used blackstone for his substrate for his, especially for his sorting system over there. And it looks really cool. It's a really cool block for redstone. I guess because it's like really high contrast. I said I wasn't going to mine underneath the sculpture, but I will a little bit. It's not a super strict rule that I've imposed upon myself. Hawk with us. Swim mode, please. I wish I could disable swim mode, but I do need it for other things, so... I just wish it was assigned to another key other than W, but that would also be difficult, so... Like, that might be a good use for the caps lock key, so... Which I absolutely despise. I so despise the caps lock's key on any keyboard. That's why on every keyboard I have... where am I? I'm over here. I always rip off the caps lock key on every keyboard that I have. Yeah, this one too. Yeah, one of the very first things I do is I pop off that caps lock key. It's just something about my hands. I'm always hitting that thing. And so it's like, yeah, you know what? Back in the day, you know, when we needed to code all in caps, you know, I could see that back in the MS-DOS days, but that hasn't been a thing for so long now that, yeah, you know what? Bye-bye caps lock. No more caps lock. You are banished from my keyboards. Yeah, it's just, what do they call that? Vestigial? Yeah, it's just a vestigial organ of keyboards now. We don't need it any longer. Just take it out. It causes more problems than it originally solved like 60 years ago. Ooh, I can hear zomboids inside. Oh no, they're above me, actually. Look at him doing his little aqua pirouettes. Aquatic pirouettes. We might have to make a run to do some tool repair. It's unlikely that I'll raid out today. I may do a raid and run today. We'll see what happens. But Kachi's been on early release this entire week, so usually I have to just terminate my stream immediately and then just hit the road and to go pick him up. But Kachi is in his last maybe 6 weeks of school now. Thank heavens. Because he has 2 absolutely awful teachers this year, and they're killing us. And so we're just trying to get him through their classes. Yeah, I like this. We're cruising right along here. This weekend I have to finish setting up at least one of the 2 guitars my brother had sent to us. They're family heirloom guitars. Maybe when I show off, maybe when I return from the ad break, I'll show one of them. They were my father's guitars, and then he handed them down, one to my brother and then one to myself. But I wasn't playing guitar then, so I just handed mine off to my brother. But my brother's pretty much settled on his Les Paul Standard. That's the one he plays the most now. And he hasn't played these 2 guitars in a very, very long time. So they've been mothballed for many years. And so he and I got to talking, and now that Biggity started playing guitar quite some time ago, but now Kachi's playing a lot of guitar. And so my brother thought that they would be better served in Kachi's possession. So he shipped them out here to hand them down to Kachi now, which is really cool. So. And Biggity too, because there's 2 of them. Biggity already has 2 guitars though. But you know, we just, the 3 of us just use them. But it's very, very, very cool. Kachi's been very, very excited. We've been using the very, very cheapo Fender Squier Affinity. Which is a pretty difficult guitar to play. I mean, I've tweaked it as much as possible without actually rebuilding the entire guitar in a Ship of Theseus kind of way. Also, I have some 11 gauge strings on there, which are, if you play guitar, you'll know that those are horrifically heavy strings because, you know, I am a bass player, thunderhand, right? And I'll destroy a guitar without those. But I've been working very hard over the last, you know, 2 years or so to lighten up my touch on so I can play guitar. And so now when I set up the BC Rich Eagle, which is the guitar I was talking about, we have a BC Rich Eagle 1980. Then we also have an 80s BC Rich Warlock too. The Eagle looks like it's going to be the easiest to get back into playable shape. So we're going with that first. And so I think I'll string those up with 8s. I think I bought some 8s for new guitar strings for that. And so this weekend I'll probably have that all cleaned up and operational, at least. It is going to need some major fret work. It's going to need, and it doesn't need the frets just merely dressed. It needs to be refretted. Apparently we have some moderation to do there. All right, there we go. So yeah, so I'm going to just string it up now. The frets are in very, very bad shape on those, but on the Eagle in particular, they are in very bad shape. So that needs to be refretted. But I think I'm going to string it up now, and at least Kachi can play it a little bit. It should be at least playable. And then when Kachi's school finishes, he'll be going directly off to Taiwan, and so I think I'll bring it into the shop and have it refretted. I would like to have it refretted with the stainless steel frets, jumbo frets, but stainless steel frets are extremely expensive. And so since we're not playing out on a regular basis, I think I'm just going to have the nickel frets installed on that, and that should be good enough. And then when he returns from Taiwan, that guitar should be in tip-top shape. Then we'll start on the Warlock. The Warlock is a bigger project to restore. It has a grounding issue with the electronics. I don't know what the grounding issue is. I think I can trace it out and find it pretty quickly and repair it myself, but we'll see. If not, my older son Biggity is an electrical engineer, and this will be a good test for him to apply some of that knowledge. But it shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, you can download schematics for the BC Rich Warlock. I haven't run the serial number on the Warlock yet. I know the Eagle is a 1980. The Warlock, I think, I'm pretty sure it's 80s. I can tell by the construction of it. I think it's late 80s. It might, I'm just going to hazard a guess and say an 87, maybe even an 88. But you know what? I don't think so, though, because we were playing it. I have photos of my father and I playing those on stage together. I don't know. That's a hard call to make. It might be an 86. It could be earlier than that. I know he bought it used. He didn't buy it brand new. He bought it used. So we'll have to see. But I mean, running the serial number only takes a few minutes. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But that one's going to require some more work. Its frets aren't as worn as the Eagle because it hasn't been played as much. It was more like a flashy stage guitar. That's more of what my father used it for. And of course, it's extremely 80s looking. It's got a translucent candy hot pink finish to it. And it is a lot less sillier looking than it sounds. It looks really, really cool. It has the Kahler tremolo system, the locking tremolo system on it, so that also makes it a little bit more challenging to set up and to tweak. But its frets aren't, as I said earlier, its frets aren't as in bad shape as the Eagles were because it wasn't played as much. So we may get away with just dressing the frets on that one. And I may be able to do that myself. If it's just cleaning up and leveling off the frets and then polishing them and stuff, I can do that stuff myself for the most part. I have enough of the tools here and stuff to do that. You can do that with fairly simple generic tools. So I may be able to get away with doing the frets myself. Hopefully, like I said, the grounding issue, I think maybe I can take care of that myself. Because these guitars are extremely expensive to have serviced. And they are worth, the other thing is damage or theft too. I'm worried about that. I'm concerned about that. Because they are worth thousands and thousands of dollars because they're rare now. So the 80s BC Riches, the authentic, quote, end quote, BC Riches before they were farmed out and bought by mass manufacturers, the NJ series. These are pre-NJ series, so they're worth a lot of money. So we have to be extremely vigilant with those. There's Jeppo. Hey, welcome on in, Jeppo. You all should see the auto shout out up there for Jeppo. Jeppo-tastic. Please go check her out for her next stream. How are things in the lands of the Nether? This evening? Should be early evening over there for you. Hello, are you talking guitars? I am indeed talking guitars. I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you were here looking during that part of the stream, but my brother had sent over two family heirloom guitars that were my father's. And my father had passed them down to myself and my brother. And I gave mine to my brother because I wasn't playing guitar at that time. And but he doesn't really play them that much these days. And they've been mothballed for many years. But Kachi has been teaching himself guitar. And my brother was very excited about that. And so he shipped them out to us. And so now they're going to be handed down to Kachi and Biggie now. So they'll be the third generation to play those. It's 9 p.m., but the light is still on the horizon. Ah, yeah, because 'tis the season. At that parallel. At that latitude. All right, I think that's it for the smooth stone, except for what is under the sculpture itself. And let me see. No, we still got quite a ways before we have to stop to run ads, so we're good. So let's do just a little bit of inventory management, and then we'll take out what's underneath the statue, the sculpture itself. And then we can start digging down here. Let's pull back and give you all a look here. There you go. And so this is the rim of the pit from out from which crawleth our Fomorian sea giant. This flatitude is great. It's like Mario, but sea. Da 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 da. Let's. Hey, how did those get in there? There we go. Junk chest. All right, so we now need to go beneath and take out all of that. Just dropping by to say hi. Oh, that's okay, Jumbo. I know it's in the evening over there, so let's say I hope the air quality is tolerable over there at the moment. Poor Jumbo, she has air quality issues where she's at. At the moment, it's great. Let's hope it stays that way. Have a great rest of the stream. Thanks for dropping in, as always, Jeppo. Always appreciated. Cool, we're getting viewership alumni here today. I mean, Jeppo stops by regularly, but we get to see JMO as well. Two of our earliest viewers here. Really cool. Okay, how should we go about this? Maybe we should just do this in strips, but... And let's get the torches in the offhand, so y'all can see what's happening. We'll do that. Yeah, let's try to do this. I think it'll work out a little bit better for us. I'm wondering if we should backfill this so we don't have to deal with this water situation here. Or we just do this outer edge of it. All right. Afterwards, we'll just go around like this and close up the outer edge. because this will probably help out with the water situation afterwards when we start to dig down further. And then we start to build this out downward. Like I said, I'm not really sure how far down I'm going to go, but I'm thinking at least down to, or initially down to level 0. I'll try that. We'll see how that works out. But our pickaxe is in the red now. And since we're only about 10 minutes away, let's just switch out the pickaxe for now. We'll do that. Done. Switching out. Yeah, it's tools 2, I think is what IB looketh for. What I'm looking for here. Efficiency 5, mending break. Yeah, let's get a silk touch. Yeah, that's what we need. Right there. All right, so I'm thinking we just do something like this. And again, you know, we can just deal with the water this way. Okay. See, we're starting to expose the innards here. The innards. Now the cool thing is, I have the files for the schematic for the entire giant. So it's not too difficult to just get in here and, or it should not be. Let's specify that it should not be too difficult to just get in here and add the subsequent layers down below here. That should not be that hard to do. Okay, cool. May seem a little tedious rebuilding this stuff after I remove it, but you know, this is water management right here. And I learned that this is pretty important I learned this from building in Season 4, so trust me, this makes things a little easier down the road when it comes to the next steps. In fact, now that I think of it, maybe I should just go around and like remove this around just the very edge and like rebuild it, and then just go inside and take out everything from the interior. I think that'll be a little bit more productive. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it, really. Yeah, a little something like that. Like I always say, you know, I really need a pattern or a system in which to work or with which to work. And then once I get that, I'm good. And then, you know, I don't even have to follow it strictly. In fact, I often, you know, my method is, you know, establish a pattern and then break it, right? And I get accused of overthinking when I do stuff like that. But the idea is really the reverse of that, so I don't have to think. Yeah, it frees up a lot of cognition. All right, let's get some materials here. Then soon, about 3 more minutes, we'll take a break. That way we can disable the pre-roll for the lot of you. Which is just a little gift from me to you. So you're not completely obliterated with ads should you join or rejoin the stream. Take care of my viewers, people. To the best of my ability, I take care of you guys. Guys and otherwise. Let's... all right. I like the way in which this is going. Okay, looking good. All right, let's go fill this in, and then I think we'll take our break. Close enough. Does that do that? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Okay, we've almost closed up all the way around. Yeah, we're getting there. Cool. All right, let's run about 3 minutes of ads, and then we will be right back. Maybe I should turn up the mic level first. Hey there. Welcome back. Oh, okay. Let's do this quick. There we go. So this is the BC Rich Eagle guitar that my father used to play, that my brother inherited from him, and then is passed down to Kachi. You probably can't hear me because I'm away from the mic, but let's pull the mic out. Over here, here we go. Now I can show this out. There we go. Right, it's been refitted with the EMGs. It's not strung right now, and since it has a suspended bridge, when it's not strung, the bridge comes off. And so I've been cleaning it, doing a lot of cleaning to this. And then, you know, using contact cleaner on, taking apart all the pots, the potentiometers, cleaning them all out. The switches, it's been fitted with the EMGs, so all of the tone switches and stuff have all been removed. The switches are still there, but the electronics for them aren't. But I don't know if you can detect the condition of those frets, but they are in very, very bad shape. You should be able to see the string wear marks in those. So my father played this on stage a lot. It's not his main guitar, but I would say it was his second most played guitar on stage. He got the BC Rich Eagle guitar immediately after I got the BC Rich Eagle bass. So this is Uller. This is my BC Rich, my 1979 BC Rich Eagle bass. And so my father and I played these on stage together in his various bands. And then when this got passed down to my brother, when I was in my brother's band, we played these on stage together in my brother's band. And now Kachi's going to inherit this, and now I won't be in a band with Kachi, but we'll play them together. So together again, the Eagle guitar and the Eagle bass from our family. 3 generations. Let's get our mic back into position here. A little off to the side. There we go. Also camera. Camera needs to be reset. Let's do this. Camera, you know, if you could just remain where I set you with those settings, just let me do the camera settings. Windows, please. OBS. Things will go a lot smoother with the stream if you just let me do that. I'll make those decisions. Thank you very much. Let's switch over back to the display scene. And let's let us restart the playlist for the second half. Cool. Welcome back. Okay, yeah, so we were clearing out underneath the sculpture here, and we're almost finished. Yeah, we were right about in this area. I think, you know what I'll do? I'll be a little less precise with it here. During the removal process. Okay, and then doing this backfill stuff. Not sure I should really go and really fill in all of this, but let us just proceed thusly for now. And then we'll deal with that a little bit later when we have a little bit more of an idea of what we want to do. Here we go. Like that, maybe? Yes? No? Yes? So we do have one more grand event lined up for Buffooncraft, Buffoon Skies. That's supposed to be this weekend. So we'll see what happens there. We haven't been updated on any of that, so there hasn't been any announcements in the Buffooncraft members Discord server. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen there. Again, you know, I do not stream Buffoon Skies. I do record it, but it looks like I'm not going to be doing anything with those recordings because I would have by now. But the other Buffoons do stream it. Yes, they do. So you can always check it out on any of the other Buffoons streams. My reason for not streaming it is simple. I just don't want the Buffoons to have to be self-conscious about their language while I'm streaming it. Because Buffoon Skies is usually features a lot more interaction with the other Buffoons. Like Buffooncraft isn't such a big deal here. If you look around, there's no one else on the server, right? And it's pretty easy to stream and not have to worry too much. You know, I don't feel so bad about asking the Buffoons to, you know, kind of watch the language while I'm streaming. Because the server is big enough where I'm not around them all the time on the Season 6 server, so they can relax. But Skies is you know, since the area in which we're building is quite a bit more, is quite tighter, just by the nature of the Skyblock stream map, then there's a lot more interaction with the other buffoons, and you know, to keep asking them to watch their language all the time is, yeah, it's just too annoying, I think. Excuse me. Yeah, I feel it's just a little too annoying for them. They insist that it isn't, but I just don't like being that guy. So, yeah, I prefer not to stream it. My intent is to record it and then post videos of the recording, because then if the language does find its way in there, I'm already resigned to editing the video anyway, so I don't really mind. I can just edit it out. But I usually don't wind up making the videos because I just don't really like that kind of work. Yeah, video producing and editing and stuff. I'm good at it, but I just don't enjoy it. And a younger Thunderhand might be able to give you that level of video production stuff. But remember, this is old Thunderhand. You're not necessarily getting the best version of me, which I regret somewhat, but not a lot we can do about that. And, you know, at this age, I'm reluctant to spend like 16 hours a day at my computer. Just not interested in that. Also, you know, I realize, you know, I could recruit people to help me with that. But again, you know, when it comes to stuff like that, with my streaming and my videos and my Minecrafting and content creating, I don't mind helping other people out with their projects and stuff. But as far as my stuff is concerned, I'd really just rather do that on my own. Again, I'm at that stage of my life where, you know, I'd really just rather do stuff myself. Work on my things for a change instead of everybody else's. But I do like to collaborate with my other content creating friends. I do like to do that on their stuff. Yeah, my stuff, no, but on their stuff, yeah. I think we may have to go on a tool repair run shortly. But this is good. I feel like we're making quite a bit of progress this stream. It's not always a requirement for me to make progress during a stream, as some of you know. But it is satisfying when I have a productive stream. I do like that. Most Minecrafters, when they stream, they Minecraft doing very tedious. They stream very tedious tasks, resource gathering, you know, terraforming, you know, just clearing big tracts of land and things like that. Yeah, that way, you know, they can interact with the viewers more. And I like those kind of streams. I like those streams where I'm just doing stuff like this, and I don't have to think so hard about it. It's easier to maintain some dialogue this way. But I mean, I don't have to do this. Like, the Baby Zombie Rush streams are really difficult. That requires some, not just brain power, but some coordination. My brain has to work in parallel, and my brain does not work in parallel well at all. Yeah, my brain works in series. Step 1, step 2, step 3, just in succession like that. Okay. All right, we need to do a little inventory management. But I feel we have a system going here now. I sort of feel like I know what I'm doing here now, a little bit. A little more so than I did at the beginning of the stream. Sláinte. Got a little bit of the extra stout going today because it's Friday. Wow, look at all the smooth stone I used. Holy smokes, thunder. Our base in Buffoon Skies, the base of Supernova Relic and myself, is starting to look really cool now. His parts of it look amazing, of course. My parts are a long-term investment, much longer than I thought. It's, of course, typical Thunderhand. But my parts are now starting to come together, and so the base is starting to look really good now. It's just, how well can we add the last few features to it with the time that we have so it looks good and we can be satisfied enough to say that it's finished. So I'm working on the reverse mountains on the underside of our disc, if any of you have been watching or following along with that. And those turned out to be very difficult to build. For me, anyway. For other people, it's very easy. They just spam the blocks. For me, that stuff's really hard to do. So, but I did eventually finally come up with a method that enabled me to make some progress. And those should be finished today. I'm on the last few layers of the last and the largest of those 5 reverse mountains underneath the disc. And I gotta say, it's looking very, very cool. It's very close to how I pictured it in my head. So once those are finished, I can move on to some of the other features. But now we have to be very choosy with those features. They have to be features that we can add and finish before the series is done. There's some features I wanted to add that I might not be able to. And I actually don't know what Nova has in mind. He's forwarded me a few ideas. but I don't know if we're going to be able to pull those off in time. We'll see. I forwarded him a few ideas. I think I can make them. There are 4 main parts of the build that I would like to do to claim it's finished. It's just I don't know if I'll have the time. I know I'm just going to replace these blocks with water blocks, with the tough blocks after, but right now it's just water management. I'm just filling in because of water management. That's all. Yeah, some of this stuff has to be filled in as we remove it. Like some of that down there. You know what? I should really carry the tough bricks with me because I'm just making extra work doing this. Yeah, let's not waste any time with that. The next inventory management stop, we'll grab some tough bricks. So when we go around to fill those in, just for the sake of water management, we may as well use the tough bricks that we're going to use, right? Then we may have to go use our neighbor over there, Supernova Relic, across the way there. We may have to use his super smelter. For the texturing of this, I want to add in some stone bricks and stone brick variants. And that means cracked stone bricks. And that requires some bacon. Not bacon as B-A-C-O-N, bacon. Bacon as in baking. Yeah, we gotta furnace those. I realize furnace isn't a verb, but I'm gonna use it that way. Starting to feel a little bit more excitement now because this is starting to look like what I had planned. The shape of it is starting to come together a little bit now. Okay, now this part, we have to be a little clever. We'll take it from this side so we can see the wall as we trim out this stuff. So we need to be able to see the tuff there. And I can tell none of this is going into our inventory, so that means it's inventory management time. See all that stuff floating up there. We have so much material now that I think I'm just going to allow that to despawn. But you can see as we're pulling away, this is starting to take shape now. And the coolness factor is starting to manifest itself. All right. And we have to remember to put the tough bricks in our inventory. Inventory. Hey there, you naughty boy, you. Stone, so well, we have some tough there too. More stone. Even more stone. Now I'm saving all this stone because we will use this. Like I said, I wanted to do texturing with some stone bricks. You need stone for stone bricks, people. I don't know if you're all aware of that, but yeah, it's totally a thing. Turns out. There we go. Cannot wait to see Kachi today when he gets out of school. Kachi's music has been... He has been leveling up so much with the music lately. Oh my god. Me, on the other hand, not so much so. I've been very more unmotivated than usual with music lately. So most of what I do nowadays is just trying to accommodate him and making sure that, you know, he has everything he needs to do his thing. Because, you know, musically, I think my time is pretty much over. Now, I think the best I can hope for is just to support him and Biggie. And I tell you, it's very, very satisfying when Kachi approaches me and asks me to help him with something or to show him something. And that's pretty much how I take that. You know, it's so difficult to resist the urge to like just grab the two of them and like start a band, and you're gonna play guitar, yeah, I'll play bass, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, we're gonna do gigs together, and you know, just lead a band with them in it. It's so hard to resist doing that and just taking over their musical journey like that. You know, it sounds like a cool thing, you know, to be in a band with your sons and stuff, but you know, on the other hand, it's a very stressful thing to do. And, you know, I don't want them to resent me for it. They probably wouldn't, because, you know, the three of us aren't like that. But, It's more about, you know, my time is over. This is their time to do their stuff. I don't want them doing my stuff the way I do it. I want them to do their stuff. So it's really hard to step back, only because it's so exciting, right? But not to get so excited and lose sight of the goal. The goal is for them to do their things their way. And so my support for that, other than just monetarily, is to just act as a consultant. I'm here, I have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge. You know, feel free to consult me whenever you like. Instead of, you know, me, you know, taking over their musical education. You know, Mrs. Thunderhand tries to do that. That's what she tries to do. I don't. I act more like a consultant. But because I do, I get more interaction with them that way. You have to be patient. You got to wait for it, though. But they do. They come around. Bubba, I'm trying to learn how to play the lead for this Iron Maiden song or this Judas Priest song. How do you do hammer-ons? How do you do pull-offs? Let the old pro show you how to do that stuff, son. So fun. So fun when you ask me to show him stuff. Again, you know, I think I just appreciate it more. Why isn't this working? Okay, do this, and when you double click there, all the stone should... Wow, it's not working. Because you need to press shift when you do that, Thunder. How long have you been playing this game? Let's clear out all this junk that we may wind up using later. Who knows? We'll see. I'm quite certain I'll be using the stone later. Like, you know, granite isn't a block I typically use a lot. I use that very sparingly. Okay, where do we want to continue here? How am I doing for time? Looks like I have 19 minutes left of the stream. That's still a lot of time. It looks like this pickaxe has had it, though. So perhaps I should swap out some tools. And then, let me see, we'll remove a layer of sand and then all this stone variant, or we'll go skim off another layer. Yeah, here we are. Let's swap these out. What level am I on here? I think I'm doing this, right? So when it comes to this, it's just a matter of, you know, using one whole tool until, you know, all of the sand and dirt and gravel is finished, and then switching over and then using the pickaxe. At least that's the way I do it. I just don't like switching between the tools constantly. It's not that I'm not capable of doing that, I just find it annoying. So we're at about the halfway point of April. And about 1 month from now is going to be my older son Biggity's 21st birthday. He'll be up in Seattle at university. But I'll be flying up there to visit him for that. Only me. The rest of the family will be here, but I can't miss my older son's 21st, nor my younger son's when he gets there. Tell you, those lads of mine, they're hitting their milestones. Biggity's in his 3rd year of his electrical engineering degree. God bless him, man. That guy is unbelievable. He's got his paid internship locked in for the summer. This summer is going to be crazy for the Thunderhand family. The family's going to Taiwan for their month, but usually they stay longer than a month, but not this year. This year it's going to be less. Which is good for Kachi. Kachi really struggles when he's there for too long. So I'm glad Mrs. Thunderhand is not keeping him there too long. I mean, we love going to Taiwan to visit and stuff. It's a lot of fun. We love to see our family there and our friends there and stuff. But, you know, being there for too long, when we come back, it just makes everything harder, right? For me, I have like about a 2-week limit. That's my maximum amount of time there. Plus my visa is a 14-day visa. But it is quite common for Mrs. Thunderhand to stay there for well over a month. She was there up to 3 months with both of the boys on several occasions. That's a quarter of a year. And when then they have to come back, and then it's a grind for their schoolwork, and it's really stressful and stuff. And we don't have any problem with her staying there for as long as she wants. But for us, you know, we can't stay there indefinitely. We have stuff, too many things going back here in the U.S. that need to be done. But this year, they're only staying there for a month, so that should be good. I'm not going this trip. I'll be back here in the U.S. Biggie's got it the toughest. He's got to fly from Seattle directly to Taiwan, and then from Taiwan directly back to Seattle for his internship, so he doesn't get to come home to Chino Hills for the summer at all. Oh wait, no, he does, but after his internship, he gets 3 weeks back here, I think, before he has to begin his final year at the university. So that's going to be quite an expensive visit for me to fly up there for. It's basically 2 days. It's one of those things like day one, I'll arrive in the morning. I'll spend that day with him. Day 2, I'll spend that day with him, and then the morning of day 3, I fly back. So it's about a 3-hour flight between here and Seattle. And we get to leave from Ontario Airport, which is nice. JMO will tell you it's much better to fly out of Ontario Airport than it is LAX. In fact, you know what? I think while I'm at the edges here, instead of filling it in, I should be knocking these back so there's the space to fill in the tough blocks when we're ready to do that. That's what I should be doing. I shouldn't be filling that in. I should be opening that up. But it's annoying me going into swim mode, so let's just focus on skimming off this layer. Wonder if we can at least finish this layer before the end of the stream. I think we can. Well, I don't know. We only have about 10 minutes left of the stream. That's going to be tough. No, wait. We should have a little bit more, right? No, oh no, we don't. We started at 11:30. That's right. I have to go fetch Kachi. Yeah, see, like, I should not have filled that in because that has to be all filled in with tough afterwards. So I should be clearing out these edge blocks here. And just making more work for myself as usual. Seemed like a good idea at the time. That stuff we do have to leave filled in because that's water management. That is a lot to remove. Maybe we'll go manage the inventory a little bit. But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we should just keep grinding. Maybe we should just keep a grinding. Look. that's good for that. Okay. All right. Making some progress. It's a lot of debris up there. Cool. Here we go. There's Lone Star. Right in the last few minutes of the stream. Should be able to see his auto shout out up there. Hey, Lone. What's up, buddy? I did see you on the Sky server the other day. Was that last night? I was AFK at Flying Villager's cobblestone machine. Otherwise, though, I haven't really seen anybody on the Skies server. Just got a new PC, been setting everything back up. Ah, got it. Yeah, nice. And I don't know how you can afford the RAM and the SSD and the prices are still ridiculous. They're supposed to come down. They're rumored to come down, but excuse me. They're supposed to come down in the fall of this year, maybe into the winter of this year, next year. We have to replace PC1. Hopefully the RAM prices, flash memory will be down by then. So we're actually able to do that because we're really tight on cash these days. Crashed out my shares. I was saving to renovate the bathroom. Yeah, I hear you. Again, the RAM prices are rumored to come back down, but you know what I find? I find like when prices for something like that go up because of some scarcity or some demand crisis, and then when the crisis is over, the prices don't come back down because they're like, hey, this is what the market could bear, see? So let's just keep them where they are. So they seldom come back. I think a lot of us learned that lesson from COVID. Now for things like, any kind of flash memory or something, since it's monopolized, which under capitalism is illegal, there's only one source, so there's no competitor. You can't say, all right, this vendor's prices are too high. I'll just go with a competitor, right? But there is no competitor. And so we're just stuck with whoever's manufacturing the flash drive, the flash memory. We're just stuck with those prices. There's no competition. That is not American at all. Okay, we've got this little bit right here. I think that'll do it, right? We missed a block. Maybe this little bit right here. I think we're good. All right, let's pose for our thumbnail. We're at time to wrap up this stream. I'm thinking, let's go forward some so we can get more of the edge of the, there we go. There, I think something like that. I think something like that should make a decent thumbnail. All right, enough. We need to wrap things up. I've got to dart right on out of here and go grab Kachi, so there'll be no raid today. I think I've run over a little bit of time here, and I got to get out of here. Got to go rescue my boy. Let's get on over to here. We'll log out over here next to our staging area. I guess I could have done a little more there, but fine, whatever. Whatever. Hey there, buddy. Done and done. Very well. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. It was a nice, relaxing little stream. Again, it's a little stressful. Things with Twitch and YouTube messing up. I got to get that stuff straightened out. That's not going to be fun. But the stream itself was fun. Always good to see you guys. Thank you for dropping in, guys, and otherwise. Just remember that we do this Buffooncraft stream every Friday, typically from 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Today we had to shift things around a little bit. Our next stream should be Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That should be Kachi time. And then the stream after that should be Wednesday from noon to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That'll be Generations. And we should be back to the Generation 5 survival world for that. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Yes, it is afternoon still. Afternoon. Evening, morning, wherever you happen to be. Join us again and next time. Bye for now, everyone.